Hello guys and welcome to Nollywood Recap. Today I will be explaining a movie called The Man of God. So come along with me as we run through the movie together. The movie started with a boy. His name is Sam. His father is a pastor. And each time they are in church, Sam always finds a way out of the church to go and play with his friend. This doesn't go well with his father at all. His father is very strict and tough. So each time Samuel did something wrong like this, his father would beat him so hard to the point that Samuel promised that any chance he gets, one day he will go away and never come back. So due to the constant beating that he got from his father, his dislike for church activities became really strong. Perhaps if his father has taken a different approach in his disciplines, maybe it would have been different. Anyways, in a short time, Samuel is now grown and now he is in this university. He is free to do as he pleased. His hatred for church is still so strong, and even more so, he hated his father so much that he stopped going home altogether. His mother used to write him various letters over and over, but did not even bother to reply any of the letters. So he began to lead a wayward life in school. To support himself in school, he started doing music gigs just to cater for himself, and understandably, his academics suffers because he devotes himself more to rehearsals than his studies. Things are about to get very interesting, so don't go anywhere. Sit back and relax as I continue in explaining this movie called The Man of God. There are three women in Sam's life. The first woman is Rekia. Rekia and Sam have so many things in common. They both lead wayward life and they are both bad influences on each other. They are friends with benefits, and I mean benefits in every sense of it. The second woman in Sam's life is Teju. Teju is a normal church girl. She always encouraged Samuel to come to fellowship, and of course Samuel never shows up. But nevertheless, Teju is one that covers up for him as far as academics is concerned. She does his assignments. She even reminds him of test dates, class dates, etc. what have you. The third woman in his life is Joy. Samuel met Joy through Teju, and from the very first moment that they met, there is a spark between them. Sam never hid the fact that he likes Joy. Every time he talks about Joy, every chance he gets, he talks about Joy. And that does not go well with Teju because deep down inside of Teju, she likes Samuel as well. As a result of this, her friendship with Joy starts to reduce little by little. But nevertheless, Joy and Sam start to get closer, and Sam starts to spend less and less time with Rekia as a result of his relationship with Joy. Sam even attends fellowship all because of Joy. Joy's closeness to Samuel eventually became a talking point for brothers in the fellowship. They frowned against a sister of God being so close with Samuel, who is a well-known wayward, ungodly student, and also considering the fact that Joy is a very important member of the school fellowship. She is even a preacher, so Joy was compelled to put an end to the relationship between them. But Samuel never gave up. He did not allow her to rest. She finally gave in to him and they started dating proper. Eventually, the time has come for Joy to graduate. The fellowship arranged a send forth for her. Please let's not forget that Sam is not going to graduate because he has carried over. At the get together, Joy is introduced to a fine young pastor who had come from Abuja to attend the send forth. After the whole send forth party, Joy left the school to go for her NYSC. Sam lost all contact with Joy, so he kept on going one of the fellowship brothers to ask for Joy, and eventually the brother got tired of Samuel coming to ask about Joy all the time, and he told Samuel that Joy is married. And guess who Joy married? The fine young pastor I was talking about. On hearing this, Sam became so heartbroken that he could barely function properly anymore. Teju was there for him throughout this period. She was there for him to help him to put himself back together. Teju was with him all along. She even helped him with the courses he's been having problems with. She prayed with him. Some years passed. Teju and Sam got married. Sam is now a music minister of a church that they both attend. The wife of the bishop of the church is a very obnoxious woman. She always has problems with all the workers of the church, especially Sam. She complains about almost everything that Sam does, and for 3 good years, Sam endured all of this despite the fact that he hated church. Teju encouraged him to stay on for the next 6 months so he can plan what to do next. While in the church, our dear music minister, Mr. Samuel, is not only ministering songs, he is also ministering to other ladies and even got one girl pregnant and forced her to abort pregnancy. Trust Mami Juyo to choke mouth inside the matter She called a meeting in the church based on the rumors going on that Sam is flirting with girls in the church. Even though she did not have any concrete evidence, all she can do is just one aim. On hearing this, Teju was confused. Teju confronted Sam about the whole thing. But trust Samuel now, he has to cover up. So he flared up and showed her enough shakara that Teju had no other choice than to apologize. But one thing about the truth is, it always comes out. So somehow, Teju found out that Samuel impregnated somebody in the church, but she kept it to herself. I hope you guys are not forgotten about Rekia. She's back and she's richer from all the dirty deals she's been doing. And she's not wasting any time in getting back in contact with Sam. They got talking, reminiscing about the past. And before you know what's happening, they rekindled old flames. During one of their conversations, Rekia made mention of how much money Sam can make in church business. So when Sam got home, he woke his wife up and told her that he has gotten a call from God. Teju, being the supportive wife that she has always been, was ecstatic and promised to support him. So he opened this church. For someone who's hated church for all his life, is pretty good at pastoring. So Sam and Rekia are getting closer and closer by the day, starting to do business together. And before you know it, Rekia got Samuel doing illegal businesses. With more money, Sam is able to expand his church and he become a superstar prosperity pastor. And he bought a bigger house in a very short time. Remember the guy I tell for Joy's graduation party? His name is Zach. He is actually the guy that Joy got married to. So Zach and Joy came to Samuel's church. So they are unaware that Samuel is doing up the church because Samuel has changed his name to Samuel King. So Sam later asked Joy to meet up with him as friends. Joy agreed just to catch up. Their conversation was basic at first, but things got a little bit awkward when Sam asked Joy to leave her husband. Joy replied to him that she is committed to her husband and she left. Pastor Samuel, convinced that he's no longer happy in his marriage with Teju, he decided to leave the country. While he's preparing his document to leave the country, he is also pressuring Joy to come along with him, but Joy insisted on staying with his husband. Now back to Teju. Somehow, Teju stumbled on Sam's traveling documents and she learned that Sam is trying to leave her behind. She confronted Sam. At first, Sam tried to wave her off by telling her she is confused, but Teju demanded an answer. So Sam admitted that he is indeed leaving, that he is not happy in the relationship, that the marriage was a mistake from the beginning. Teju became very, very angry after all the sacrifices and what she has endured with him. Sam told her that he is miserable in the marriage. Remember what they say about hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. Teju promised him that she's going to make his life a living hell, and she made good of her threats. She gave the police all the records of all the illegal businesses that Sam is engaging with Rekia. So the police arrested Sam and was sentenced to some years in prison. So after some years in prison, he returned back to his father like the biblical prodigal son. So that's the end of the movie. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, kindly like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.